Hi, this is MarqueeCReW, and I'm here today with Stephen Ahlgren from Alteryx. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm Steve Ahlgren, and I'm one of the longer term people at Alteryx, and I'm currently in the architecture team. It's always good to see you, Mark.
Well, thank you. Uh, so, Stephen, I'm looking forward to Inspire EMEA, Inspire 22. And there we're going to have a ACE Dev Day that you host and organize for us. And one of the things that I'll be doing at Inspire is presenting for Alteryx Obscura. And so maybe you could tell us a little bit about Alteryx Obscura, and I'll go into what I'm going to present.
Yeah, sounds good. Uh, so you mentioned Ace Dev Day. Let's start there. It's something we started in 2019 to bring together developers and members of the Ace community, and we just get together in a room and we hash it out and generally have a lot of fun. Definitely strong opinions on both sides, which is always good. And then this year at Inspire in Denver, we started a new session called Alteryx Obscura. And its purpose is to highlight all things non-analytics about Alteryx. And so we have what are called lightning talks. I think this year we had 6 presenters, about 4.5 minutes a person, and we showed some pretty wacky stuff. And we're going to be recreating that event in EMEA. I think this time we're going to have seven. I even had an eighth presenter reach out to me today. So we're going to have really short lightning talks. And Mark, I won't give away what you showed in Denver, but it was a good one. How many tools did you have on that canvas? Like 50, something like that?
Yeah, it was how many tools can you use that you really could just use one or two tools for? Just finding the hard way to do something. It's Hello World and Hello World. If you search for it on Alteryx community in the gallery, you can see the workflow there. And there's a YouTube video for it. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good fun. What was fun about that event was just seeing the entire crowd laughing, and I'm hoping we can have a similar reaction in EMEA.
Well, seeing everybody laugh, I've got up on my screen right now. Um, I think I'm scared just sharing that screen.
Yep.
World Mental Health Day, October 10th. And so this, not to be too much of a giveaway to Inspire EMEA, but I'm going to be presenting how to go into World Mental Health Day mode in Alteryx. And Alteryx supports World Mental Health Day, and they do it in a fairly substantial way. And maybe you could tell people about that.
Yeah, it's fantastic what Alteryx is doing for us as employees. They actually give us the day off on Monday, so we have a 3-day weekend, and they really emphasize taking care of ourselves. And so we have internal programs. For example, we have a headspace available to us for meditation and sort of group practice. And as part of Mental Health Day on Monday, they've sent out a list of things that we can do. For example, so I'm looking at it now. To me, mental health is all around taking small steps, small initiatives, and Alteryx encourages us to do things like reading a book, slowing down, taking a break from social media, turning off devices. And I think if we all embrace those small things, they can actually make a huge difference in our days. I don't know. What do you think, Mark? I know you're bringing this forward, Mental Health Day. What does it mean to you?
Well, for me, um, uh, I need that de-stimulant. I need to relax my mind a little bit. Coming to work today, I admit I was really excited about this session, and I'm texting and actually even writing an email while I was driving, and I realized now I've got to put that down. And so it just I get really wrapped up in things, and it's hard for me to let go. So this is an opportunity for me to let go.
That's great. Yeah, that term letting go is really important. It's I think about it during the day. I've heard the 20-20 rule, where every 20 minutes you spend 20 seconds not doing what you were doing. So for me, I have a big window next to me. I try to look out the window frequently. Right before you head into a meeting, take that 20 seconds just to sit and be you and not worry about what's about to happen. But just those little incremental steps, putting the phone away, um, small things make a big difference. So
Well, maybe this World Mental Health Day mode for Alteryx might get people to think about that or have it present there as a reminder. And you might want to actually keep this mode going for more than one day out of the year.
I think it's a great idea. So how do we do it? What's
Okay.
what's the process?
So what I've done is outside of Alteryx, I've searched for a image and I've saved this image onto my downloads tool. And what I did, I'm not really the artist.
I'm right there with you.
I'm not an artist. So I picked this green color for the tools that I'm going to adjust. And I picked this green color for the background. So I'm going to make this image blend into my canvas. And so let's take a look at what I did for breast cancer awareness, which is the home one.
Mm-hmm.
In October, we Alteryx in pink. And what I did was I took a frequently used palette and I took a workflow that exists in Help. If you go into Help, sample workflows, describe what's happening, learn frequently used tools, I took something that looks standard. And I will put that video in here where I will show or demonstrate now how to go into a Alteryx old Easter egg, which will repeat, is under Help, About, and then by double clicking on this flag, you're going to see some pretty old tool icons show up on your workflow that you may or may not recognize. Here is the Alteryx Easter egg for reverting to old icons. These are the icons from an initial release of Alteryx. Under Help, About, you can see Alteryx Designer, and if you move your finger pointer over the flag for Colorado, if you click on that, all the tools revert to old icons.
Yeah, those are the originals. I believe that Tara McCoy made. I'm not sure how long ago, probably 15 years now, I imagine.
Yeah, and they were colorful.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
They all look good.
So let me open up a new instance of Alteryx and we'll get going. By the way, this is version 2022.1 that I'm working with. It will work. This should work on any current versions of Alteryx or obsolete versions of Alteryx that you may be running. So nothing magical about what I'm about to show you.
So this conversion, is this something that any user can do, or do you have to be an administrator? So what are the preconditions?
Yeah, there's going to be a precondition here. Unfortunately, before we go to Inspire, there's going to be a administrative privilege that you need to have to get into the library that we're going to embellish. And so what we're going to place into the ideas section of community is the ability to have this as a function within Alteryx. But if you want a hack, this is how I created the mode. This is a new version.
I love hacks, Mark.
This is a new version of a workflow showing up, and I'm going to open up that workflow, sample workflow, describe what's happening, learn frequently used tools, and it's now open on my workflow. And the pink that you see behind here is a function of options, user settings, edit user settings, and go to the canvas. And the background that I've got is this pink color. So I've created a custom color, 163, 210, 125. I added it to my custom colors. That color is green here. My tools will be this green, and I'm going to say, okay, save. And now the background is set. I don't necessarily need this comment box, but I do want this one, and this is going to be World Mental Health Day. Now, if I were to go into Help, About, and double click this flag, it's pink. And it's pink because I've modified the standard icons to be pink. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these old icons from being old to, in this case, green. I have saved on one of my many open windows where you need to go to. It's C, Program Files, Alteryx, Bin, Runtime Data, Icons. And if in Icons you were to go to Old and then go into Properties, you could see these are read only. You could uncheck that. You could change the security and make sure that as a user you have modified control. Those are the pieces that only administrators are going to be able to do this for, to update, to be able to get into the old icons. And under old, I have an old icon, archive, where everything that Alteryx delivers is part of that subdirectory. So I could always restore this back to the original version, the delivered version. And I've got a pink archive and a green archive. And what I've done is I've saved these icons. If we take a look at the PNGs here, which of course went onto another screen.
I'm telling you, live demos. This is what happens.
But if I go into the green archive, everything is green.
Mm-hmm.
And so I use the tool to be able to go and modify these. You could use Photoshop, you could use Illustrator. I use Snagit to do color replacements and set them all to one color. And yes, if you're used to looking at green tools for input and blue tools for data preparation and purple tools for join functions, this is going to potentially confuse you. But if you're worried that the workflow that you create is going to naturally come up with the right tools. This is only for display purposes. And so your underlying workflow to everybody else will look normal, but to you, it'll look special. So I'm going to take all of these tools, I'm going to copy them, and I will paste.
So you're overwriting all the old Colorado icons with the new ones that you've created.
Yes, and I have the saved versions for old, pink, green, whatever ones you might have.
Sounds pretty easy.
And now, when I go into Help, About, Colorado flag, drum roll please, it's green. And
looks
now
great.
I can put a little comment in here, and you change the background image first. And I'll go to quick access, and hopefully it's there.
So do you imagine, Mark, doing this for, I mean, you could do this for Halloween. You could do it for around the holidays. I mean, there's all sorts of, I mean, you could do an Easter one, for example.
Yes.
Jelly bean icons.
Myself and Alberto Gisande, or AJ as he's known by all of his friends here in the ACE community, he was demonstrating to me in Photoshop how he could take, there's a little transparent white space. See this square here? Imagine that that space behind it is transparent. And what we could do is we could underlay, example, a Ukraine flag, or we could underlay a pride or rainbow, or we could underlay a pumpkin,
Mm-hmm.
and turn the tools and make them appropriate to whichever holiday you're working with.
Yeah.
So this image here, the only thing that I might say that I might want to do differently about it is go back into my photo editor and make this transparent behind it so that you don't have that white on it. And if we take a look, this is then the color scheme for World Mental Health Day, and it runs just like any other workflow would run.
That's super cool, Mark.
And maybe one day when you go into help about, this is the request, look for it in community. If you double click the flag, maybe there'll be themes that you can choose from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could distribute a theme pack. So you could have a theme pack for Veterans and Allies Month, or like you've done today, you know, World Mental Health Day or Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I think the pumpkins would be great too. My kids would like that for sure.
Okay,
That was fun, Mark.
well, again, you guys inspire Alteryx users, and this is fun for us. We want to get community involved. If you've got, I'll post this into Alteryx community. You're welcome to reach out there and give us your comments or comment here on YouTube.
That's great. And I'll give a shameless plug for the Alter Everything podcast. We recently did a mental health awareness podcast. I think it's number 112, 112. And so one way you could ease into this weekend and think about Mental Health Day is to listen to our podcast about it, talking about mental health awareness in the software industry. We had a lot of fun recording it at Inspire in Denver.
I'll do my best. Well, I'm pretty good at Alteryx. The YouTube thing has got me challenged, but I'll try to put in links into this video.
Sounds great. Thanks again, Mark.
Thank you. Cheers.